Uniswap could be on the edge of greatness. You guys don't want to miss it. Let's break it down and get into it. I do want to thank our sponsor today, and that is BTCC, because this is where volatility meets trading. This is the only way that you're going to really be able to make profits in these kinds of markets where you've got this volatile setup. And of course, the way you can do it is hit our link down below. It's going to give 10% bonus on your first time deposit. You also get a slew of other benefits, including 40% lower trading fees. They also have a VIP program that uses our link. So check it out and get started, because this, of course, gets you into the ability to long, short, do some leverage if you choose to go that route. I don't recommend it, but I do like longing and shorting on certain assets. Let's get into a couple of points today. And you will remember we did this video last week, and we simply said that Uniswap would leap over World Liberty Fi and probably go on its way up to actually outpace several other tokens. And of course, this is where we are right now with Uniswap on the move again. Look at that, coming off the floor and moving even over Mantle, over Crow. Uniswap is now threatening PYUSD for number 25. So this would be a big deal, as a lot of news is hitting around the Uniswap ecosystem, and everybody knows this is the one that you have to be on the watch for. Here's Hayden talking about this. All of this voting ends on the 25th, Christmas Day. If it passes after a 2-day time lock, 100 million Uniswap will be burned, and it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. So just be aware that that is not going to hit the market immediately. But if V2, V3 switches will flip, and the mainnet will begin burning Uni along with Uniswap chain or Unichain fees. Uniswap Labs will also align itself. This is interesting right here, with Uniswap governance with a contractual agreement. Now, this is going to be recognized as a binding agreement in the state of Wyoming under their DUNA laws. So kind of interesting. And if you look at the potential here in terms of the ability for this to actually happen by votes, it is clearly going to go down. And it looks like it's a 97% chance this is going live. When you go over to Dune Analytics, this, of course, is just showing you the daily average volume starting to skyrocket here as we start to move in here on Uniswap. This, of course, will change maybe the trajectory where this token is going to be going. All right, when you take a look at this Dune chart, this, of course, is Uniswap cumulative volume now crossing 4 trillion. This gets in, this, of course, is all chains within it, ETH leading the way at 2.8 trillion, 2.84. So this, again, just shows the amount of interest within it. If you look at fees paid, let me kind of zoom in on this right here. This is applications on the ETH mainnet ranked by transaction count last 7 days. Uniswap holding the number 3 spot right behind Circle and Tether. When you look at the fees, this, of course, is number 1 within the ETH mainnet. So again, fees paid right now pretty much dominating the top spot there in general. Now, I want to go to a clip here, because this is where maybe the rest of the market will start to recognize what is going on. This is Matt Hogan. Take a look.
It fits into a TradFi framework. You could give that table to an analyst at Goldman Sachs, and they could come up with a valuation number. Previously, the number did not compute. Fundamentally driven, revenue-based, users-based, application-based, real-time information verifiable on chain about the economic value going on here. And as a result, you're going to see institutions move into this space in droves. If Uniswap were a company, it'd be one of the most exciting financial startups of the last 20 years. The token price is up. You're going to see pressure on other tokens to do this. And I think that's going to be a new bull market. I still think we're on track for DeFi Summer 2.0.
That was an interview we had with Matt, and he's kind of hitting it on the head there. This is the estimated market cap range that we could see. And this is on an 8 to 10x. You're talking about 5.2 to 6.5 billion. You look at a 12 to 15x, it's 7.8 to 9 billion. This, of course, again, gets into one of the top ranking tokens out there in terms of market cap opportunity. So that was kind of a base case. If you go over and look at this ARK Invest, this is their big ideas report, and you look at monthly spot volume here by per employee. You can see Crypto.com, Coinbase right there, way down on monthly volume by employee. Look at Uniswap, almost no employees. That's the kind of comparison there. This is something that people will look at. This is where it starts to separate Uniswap from the pack. This is a huge opportunity, especially the size of this token for sure. All right, so that, of course, being the CFI, all right, centralized exchanges. If you look at the comparison here in terms of on-ramp, off-ramp, okay, now you've got Revolut in there, Transact. What you're going to start seeing here, guys, is Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, those kinds of on and off ramps that are essentially going to enable you to DeFi. Why would you even go into centralized exchanges? This could be a problem in general for Coinbase and also for even Robinhood going forward. Now, a lot of people would say, well, people may not go that direction, Paul, but I anticipate if you see the market and the fees starting to really get more active, this could be the new frontier going forward. They're even integrating now into wallets. This, of course, is Trust Wallet now integrated with Revolut. You're going to see this coming across all wallets. Get ready. Mark our word, it's going to happen. Other things I want to hit on right here, there's Ledger, of course, powering it in with Uniswap. It's just a matter of time before it starts to get into every software and hardware wallet out there. These are the fee rates on major platforms, and if you kind of compare here to Uniswap and even Phantom, there's Uniswap right there. There's Phantom, which is normally one of the top. This is the kind of benefit that Uniswap offers in terms of exchanges and being able to go out there and transact on your crypto trades. This is a big deal. If you take a look at this, this is total value locked on Aerodrome versus Uniswap. And remember that Coinbase was really focusing in on the use of Aerodrome. That's the blue chart right there that you're looking at. As we start to flow into the fall, all of this started to really accelerate and Uniswap continuing to hold. And I think this is just a matter of time before we see this really take off. One thing to consider here, now you've got Cardano, XRP, Solana, all coming to Uniswap. Remember, we did this video with Axelar showing and showcasing how this would work. And then I've got a clip here of Charles talking about this from Cardano. Take a look.
Why should I not sell all my Cardano and buy Midnight right now?
Well, because they're complementary. They do different things. Midnight is the chat GPT of privacy. So which ones do you think are going to adopt privacy first? Uniswap and all these giant things that are slow moving and they're very conservative because they have a lot of users of value flow? No, it'll be Cardano applications.
All right, so I hear where Charles is coming from. I get that, his statement, but I think the key here is going to be liquidity and, of course, distribution. Uniswap has it. We're going to see that. This is just showing Cardano's TVL in general. I think it's going to be Uniswap that is the winner here. Listen to what Cathie Wood had to say, because she doesn't really understand it either. She's basically in the sense of, I don't understand all these details. This will get, of course, getting into scalability for privacy, which is a big factor here. And if you remember, this is something that we've continued to point out. Is Uniswap undervalued here on all these different areas in terms of these indexes? You've got Grayscale, Bitwise, and Hashdex. They're not exposed out here right now on Uniswap or on Hyperliquid. And I think they're going to basically come in and say, I want the biggest one. So Uniswap, I think, is going to be the winner here going forward. And you got to look at it this way, too, because this ties into Clarity Act. And this is where DeFi is going to change everything. Be on the lookout for that, because Uniswap could be the biggest winner out of the Clarity Act going forward. All right, so remember I just showed you the clip of Matt Hogan saying DeFi season 2.0. All right, well, this was DeFi season 1.0, which was back in September of 2020. That was the move after we saw airdrops moving within Uniswap. That's the kind of explosion that came into the market overall on Ethereum right there. That's the move. This was when those airdrops began. So be on the lookout. This is where we think the opportunity starts to play into the overall ecosystem going forward. And especially if you look at what this chart really looks at, which is Uniswap has been way depressed, down under $5, now starting to trade above that after just the last couple of days, up 30%. This could be the window we're looking for back to $10. I'm not saying that that's where it's going, but I'm just saying all the things are lining up for this to be something special. Now, you guys make sure and get in on our own group, which is our private member group. It's called the Bear Market Edge. You can do that by hitting the link down below. We cover this and so much more within that. You can also hit me out there on X at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on The Paul Barron Show.